Okay, I need to know exactly what is Palworld. Like, I literally I don't pay attention for a couple days and it's like things just happen all the time and I miss them. And so I'm gonna watch Ludwig explain. It's just 12 minutes. He's saying huge Pokemon scam, so I don't know. I've heard like mixed things about Palworld. Mostly good things that it's really fun, but yeah, I want to see what he
I
has
took
to
one
say.
week off from gaming and I came back to
Because I
the
trust
largest game in the
Ludwig.
world being a complete and total scam. Or at least that's what I've heard. What's the actual truth? Let's find out. I'm, of course, talking about Palworld, a game that's taken the world by storm. Everybody's playing it, and
Yes.
everybody's giving it great reviews. But don't just take my word for it. Let's listen to Charlie talk about it.
Yeah, I've actually heard good things about this.
Yeah.
Reviews are in, baby. That's Moist Critical himself. He's played the shit out of this game. He has a lot more to say about it. But there's also like every other streamer on the planet who's playing it, and then everyone who's not a streamer also playing it. In fact, Palworld has the highest concurrent player count of any paid game in the history of Steam.
Oh my God.
It's number 2. PUBG actually has that record with like 3 point something million, but then they went free to play. But it's up there, man. It is up there along with like
Okay, but number 2 is still huge.
I think it's even beaten that record. It's like at 1.5 million concurrent players. They've sold over 5 million copies for a paid game. It is huge. But what is the game? At its core, it's a game where you capture pals.
So then is that really a scam? I don't know. When people kind of get that vibe,
and
it must be fun.
Pals to like maybe gain experience by destroying other pals, or maybe weakening those pals to capture them and adding them to your team. And if that sounds anything like Pokemon, it's because it has some similarities. It has some similarities.
Oh, yeah.
It's stupid to admit that it had no similarities. It has some similarities, but it's not a one-to-one clone. Right? The game's not like a turn-based RPG. You kind of flow through and battles more freely, and you can also like kill Pokemon outright and butcher them. You can capture trainers. You can also butcher the trainers, which I think is just slavery and murder. It's kind of like an adult version with some Pokemon themes in it, some elements of Pokemon, but in a, I guess, more fresh way to play it. And people are upset because they're claiming that this game has totally ripped off Pokemon.
It's so funny. It's so popular, but people are also upset. Like,
and I get why the concerns are coming out. Pokemon is a very impactful
how many more people
game.
can there be
personalities
that are mad
about it? And so for a game to come up and rip it off.
Sorry, I don't think I made any sense. What I mean is everyone's playing it, but a lot of people are also mad. It's like they really tapped into the whole gaming audience, didn't they?
Off. And they've drawn some comparisons to the Palworld pals versus the Pokemon themselves. And here's one of the more
I'm sure that
100 times the Galarian Meowth being stolen by the Palworld designers, and you can judge for yourself whether it's actually stolen or maybe just slightly inspired. But people are going in. I saw this thread of 100 like different pals and then Pokemon that it draws inspiration from. I will say a lot of them are a stretch. Right? Like a lot of them is just like, hey, it is a furret-like creature.
Yeah, that one.
Like, Pokemon didn't invent a goddamn furret. That's just we got like those creatures in our world, and they're called animals. And so I think they're basing the designs off animals. But some are like,
why that's so
that
funny.
color scheme is kind of similar. That one maybe perhaps is a little more similar. And so it's basically a game of like, you know, people trying to draw connections and seeing what is valid, what is not valid. Some, I would say, a little more wishy-washy, like this one. You know, you can't really just take over all feathers or the color green.
No.
And some are a little more concerning, like the models of.
I would think even if you didn't directly copy Pokemon, if you've ever just played it and know the characters, you'll probably like subconsciously be making similar creatures, right? The creators would be
lined up next to each other, specifically Luxray and one of the pals called Boltmane, look pretty similar. I mean, with the models and the sizes and the shapes of it. And so I get why people are bringing up the concern. But let's not pretend that Pokemon themselves haven't drawn inspiration from other games. In fact, this is one of Pirate Software's arguments, is that a lot of the Pokemon we know are just creatures or inspired by creatures from Dragon Quests, like Zubat, inspired from this Dragon Quest monster, and there's some other ones that maybe don't make as much sense, like this one for Dragonite. And so this is like the counter argument that I'm seeing a lot. But the fact is that the Palworld devs have not at this point received any legal issues from Nintendo. And let me tell you, Nintendo will give it out if they want to give it out. They give it to me good. Nintendo left me no holes refused here. Okay, I got a cease and desist myself. So a game that has 1.5 million sales, that is literally being marketed by everyone as Pokemon with guns, if they had any legal grounds to take them down, I think they would take that action.
Well, and also, to be fair, it hasn't been out that long. You know how the court systems go. It's like it could take a while, but
because of this campaign,
if they can, they probably will.
Hey, Palworld is a ripoff. It has led to some unfortunate consequences for some of the artists on the Palworld team. And this is from the lead developer and the CEO of the company, Takuro Mizobe, who said, currently we are receiving slanderous comments against our artists, and we're seeing tweets that appear to be death threats. And he just said, hey, I'm the guy in charge here. So if you want to slander someone, slander me, not the artist. You know, that's
why do people have to take it to death threats? Is it really that important to you? Like, really? I don't think it is. I think people just
that's a noble thing to say.
Go too far every single time.
And I would say we can let Nintendo make that call, right? I don't think we need to defend Nintendo or fight for Nintendo. Nintendo, a very litigious company, will do it for themselves if they truly think that somebody is stealing their models. And that would be the thing that's a crime, if they were stealing or copying models. And the models are available, I'm pretty sure. They've, like, every single fan at some point has ripped models from every single Pokemon game, so it would be feasible to do. And if it's found out that has happened, that would be fucked up. That'd be fucked up, and then they should receive some repercussions. Whether
but it's not up to us.
A big bag of money or taking their game down. But if all that's happening is that artists are inspired by some Pokemon from Nintendo who's made like 1,000 Pokemon that are oftentimes based off very real animals in our real world, then I don't think that should be such a big deal.
It's not, and it's a similar art style. It's like, how many, like, you're gonna make 100 little creatures that are kind of in that same art style. How many different creations can you really make? Some of them are going to look similar, right? It's not like they're just all going to be 100% different.
And we should be flaming them. But unfortunately, that's not the only complaint that people are levying against. Because the other big one is that Palworld is using AI to make their game. And
I almost said, when he was showing the comparisons on the Twitter feeds, I almost said, what if they just got AI to just like switch up the characters? Because you could do that. You can pretty much, you can have them make anything.
It is sad that people are falling for this AI product because it's fun and doesn't feel like AI. And now AI is going to take over everything. Books, music,
it's
art.
Way easier to make stuff.
America, sad day for the world. But there's no real evidence that the game uses AI. The evidence is that the lead developer has been very positive about AI in the past and made an AI game called AI Art Imposter that lets an AI artist draw a picture. And so that was like one of the games.
I mean, okay.
Yes, just generally has been much more positive about some of the benefits of AI rather than what is the normal sentiment amongst artists and I guess general Twitter population, which is that AI is bad and it takes jobs from people and we should not support AI across the board.
But the problem is, when you say it takes jobs from people, there are other people who benefit off of that, and companies will benefit off of that. So how are you going to stop that? How? It's not going to work.
Taboo word like crypto or NFTs. We don't really care about looking into the details of the project. If it has the word AI, we're pretty much out. All right. And because this person used to be very positive about AI, it's likely perhaps that Palworld has used AI to make this game come to life.
And I could see
more arguments
it
that
being the case,
sort
but
of thought. They're basically kind of just trying to frame the team in a certain way to make the argument rather than using evidence directly from the game to make the argument, which I don't really fuck with. I don't really like just, hey, this person is bad based off their history.
Right.
And that is why we should not support it. Versus we have clear proof of AI being used, so we should not support it.
Even if you do have proof right this second, what's that going to do? They've already sold all these copies anyways. It doesn't matter what we like. I know that that's kind of a negative view, but really, what difference would that make at this point? It wouldn't.
Because I understand the moral line of not wanting to support AI games because you like humans and what humans make.
Yes.
But be right. Don't just slander a character and then go off that. And then there's a couple other complaints, which is that, hey, this isn't the first time that the Palworld team has stolen before. What you're looking at is not a multiplayer Breath of the Wild. It is actually another game they made called Craftopia, which is being called out for being very similar to Breath of the Wild. It's being resurfaced now. And then they made this game, which people are saying it looks very similar to Hollow Knight and was massively inspired or stole from Hollow Knight. So I'm just trying to give you the full context here of why we are in this situation in the first place.
Like, okay, what constitutes stealing? Why do people say that word so freely? Wouldn't it have to be an actual legal definition? Because if they made the games, they haven't gotten any legal repercussions. Then what's the argument? What can we do? Like, maybe we're just not correct on that.
And it is pretty obvious to me that it all stems from the fact that this game is being marketed as Pokemon with guns. Everyone's talking about it as adult Pokemon, or the Pokemon game we've always wanted. And as a huge Pokemon fan who thinks Black and White 2 are the greatest Pokemon games ever made, it's been a tough, fucking decade for Pokemon, man. The games have been, I think, pretty mid, right? The Pokemon designs have sometimes been a little lackluster in recent years. The gameplay and the games from Game Freak look bad. It looks like a PS2 game.
But it's kind of always been the same.
So we just eat it. We eat the slop that they feed us because we like Pokemon because it was part
and they
of our
held the
childhood.
market.
That's how I feel. And I wish they would make something that's more innovative. And Palworld,
maybe this will get them to.
And so I feel like it is creating a divide between people who liked Pokemon and now like this new thing because they've grown up with Pokemon and they like that sort of gameplay and the art style or whatever. And then people who just wish that that Game Freak could do it right and they don't want someone else to steal it and everyone to leave the Pokemon universe because they've put so much time and effort into this thing. But unless it's proven that they've stolen designs, stolen models, used AI to generate their powers,
what can we do?
And I really think it is a nothing burger. It is as big of a problem, and maybe we could argue this is a huge problem we should talk about, but it's a different one, as Valorant taking inspiration from CSGO.
Ooh, it looks so similar there.
Shooter, a lot of similarities there.
Yeah.
Or perhaps Genshin Impact, taking a lot of gameplay elements from Breath of the Wild. Or a game I played a ton of, Only Up, taking direct inspiration from the Fadian forefathers of Getting Over It, and basically stealing assets outright. I mean, this game also could end up being a tale of what might happen to Palworld, because this game got taken down from Steam for using stolen assets from Unity, and it got massively popular because it was really fun to play. But it eventually caught up to it. All right. The dev took down the game because they couldn't get away with stealing all the assets, like this anime girl right here. And if it's found out eventually that there are any stolen assets, I think the same thing would happen. But we have to wait for it to be found out. You can't jump.
The reason is obviously no proof, but also because if it's super fun, obviously people think it's really fun. They're buying it. They're playing it like crazy. So it's going to take even longer for it to come around. Yeah.
Having said that, fans of Palworld are not doing the devs a favor by making all the comparisons. If you watch somebody stream Palworld, they'll sometimes just call the pals Pokemon outright. They'll just say Mons, they'll say Pokemon, whatever. And there's also a mod that's been teased.
You know Palworld already has Pokemon? That's right, the first mod pack for Palworld is already out, and it is an overhaul converting everything into Pokemon.
Yeah, so this is a problem. Now we have gone too far. Science has gone too far. I think this is one, making the game massively more popular, all the comparisons to Pokemon, and
Ooh,
two,
yeah.
perhaps going to screw it
Dang.
over if everyone is making mods, actually stealing assets to make the game more
Yeah.
popular. I think Palworld needs to
That's so
probably
fun.
admonish this and separate themselves from modders trying to make it Pokemon but for adults and try to form their own identity. And that's the whole story. That's where we're at right now. We're basically waiting for things to get proven. The devs haven't said any more. They haven't mentioned use of AI. He just said the thing about, hey, please don't flame my artist, which I get. And so if there's any updates, I'll let you know. But until then, I'm gonna play it because game looked fun. I'll play game.
I was about to ask, are you gonna play?
And maybe tell me I'm wrong for that. I don't know. Have a good one. That's it. That's my thoughts. See you later. Goodbye. That's it. That's the.
Okay, bye. Like, yeah, why not? Everyone's playing it anyways. You might as well see if it's good. I've chatted with some people in the comments who said that it's fun and I should try playing it. I think I will. I mean, at least just to know what's going on. Why is it so popular, you know? I wonder if there's any more controversy that'll come out. This was 7 days ago, so there could be more that's out that I haven't found yet. But yeah, just like him, I've been kind of gone a little bit, kind of busy, and then up pops this game that's super popular, and I'm like, what the heck is it? I don't even know. But yeah, I'll leave this video in the description for you if you want to go watch it for yourself, and I will see you in the next one.